Good morning, boys. Class 11. In our last video, we have discussed about different types of molecular interactions. These are mainly intermolecular forces of attractions, as you know, and we have discussed about different types of molecular interactions that exist between two same molecules or between two different molecules. Now today you see that states of a matter, this is basically depends upon two things, that is molecular attractions and another factor is thermal energy. Molecular attractions means by what strength the molecules attract each other, and the second one is thermal energy of the molecules. Thermal energy of the molecules is directly proportional to the kinetic energy. That means you can say it depends upon temperature. As you know that temperature increases, kinetic energy increases, thermal energy of the molecules also increases. One factor is there, thermal energy makes the molecule unrest. That means thermal energy leads to the molecular motion, leads to the increase in molecular motions. However, molecular attractions try to make the molecules unrest. That means the molecular attractions just acting oppositely, opposite to thermal energy. Molecular attractions seize the molecular motions, whereas thermal energy increases the molecular motion. So these two forces, these two energies, you can say, actually decide the state, physical state of the matter at room temperature. At room temperature, when you consider that solid, liquid, gas, if you consider the thermal energy, I am writing TE, thermal energy, from solid to gas, thermal energy increases, and from gas to solid, molecular force of attraction, that is what you say intermolecular force of attraction, IMF, from gas to solid increases. So see, these two factors are acting oppositely. Thermal energy increases from solid to gas and molecular attraction increases from gas to solid. These two factors actually decide the physical state of the matter. In case of gas, thermal energy is highest, IMF is lowest. In case of solid, IMF is highest, thermal energy is lowest. That's why the solid molecules are unrest. The solid molecules are not unrest, they are in rest. And in gas molecules, thermal energy is highest. So the gas molecules are unrest. They are in a motion, continuous state of motion. So you can say that thermal energy exceeds IMF in gas, and you can say IMF exceeds thermal energy in solid. In case of liquid, these two terms actually balance each other. Thermal energy and intermolecular energy, molecular interaction energy, these two things balance each other. So in liquid state, these are almost equal. Thermal energy and intermolecular forces of attraction, these are almost equal in liquid state at a given temperature or at room temperature, because we mainly say the physical state of the matters at room temperature. So you have understood this part, that what are the factors that decide the physical state of matter. Now today I am here, video number 2, to discuss about the different types of gas laws. Before going to the gas laws, we know that we are talking about a gas, and whenever the measurement of the gas is done, 4 parameters are taken into account. These parameters are pressure, volume, temperature and quantity of the gas. These 4 parameters, because you cannot define any particular term without the reference of other terms. You cannot measure the volume of the gas without the reference of pressure and temperature. You cannot measure the pressure of the gas without the reference of temperature and volume. That's why these are interdependent. And so there are actually four parameters which are taken into account for the measurement of gases. These four parameters are pressure, volume, temperature, and quantity of the gas. Quantity of the gas is measured by mole, that is denoted by small n. Now pressure, volume, temperature and mole, these are the four parameters, these are the four conditions which must be by and large dependent, which must be by and large connected in the measurement of gases. Now let us tell something about these four quantities. You know that pressure, that is the pressure at which the gas is kept, the pressure under which the gas is kept, different units are used. Different units of pressures are used and different units of volumes are also used. You have different units of temperature. That's why let us have a look about the pressure. Pressure generally denoted by the following units: atmosphere, bar, centimeter of mercury, millimeter of mercury, Pascal, torr, different types of units of pressure are there. So you must be knowing these units, what these units say and how they are interconnected. One atmospheric pressure that is equal to the pressure exerted by 76 centimeter of mercury column. This is equal to 76 centimeter of mercury column. I think you know it, one atmospheric pressure. What is this? One atmospheric pressure is the pressure exerted by 76 centimeter height of mercury column. Now this is equal to 760 millimeter of mercury column. Now this is equal to 760 torr. So torr unit, that is connected to millimeter of mercury. 1 millimeter of mercury equals to 1 torr. 1 millimeter of mercury column, this is equal to 1 torr. So these are the things that you come to know. Now see, 1 atm, that means 76 centimeter of mercury column. This 76 centimeter of mercury column, you know that this pressure can be converted into SI unit, that is Newton per meter square, or what you say Pascal, that this by this formula H into D into G. H is the height of the mercury column, 0.76 meter, into density of mercury. Density of mercury is 13,600 kilogram per meter cube into G, gravity. Gravity equals to 9.8. You can take this value. This is not exact value. However, you can apply this one into 9.8 meter per second square. So see it here. By this formula, you can exactly calculate the pressure in SI unit, H into D into G. H is the height of the mercury column, density of mercury, and gravity. Now, if you calculate it, you will get 103,527. What is the unit left? Kg is left. Meter to the power minus 1 is left, and second to the power minus 2. Okay. So this can be written as 103,527 527 kg meter to the power what I say per meter square. So kg meter second square, seconds to the power minus 2c. In this way I am writing. So kg is there, second to the power minus 2 is there, meter to the power minus 1. In this place we are writing meter into meter to the power minus 2, and kg meter per second square, this is equal to Newton. This is equal to Newton per meter square. So this is equal to 103,527 Newton per meter square. This is equal to 103,527 Pascal. So see, actually if you multiply these, exactly this value will not come. Remember it. This value, these are the rounded up values, 13600, not exactly 13,600. I have taken the rounded up value. 9.8 is also rounded up value. It is not the exact value. If you put the exact values, you will get 103,527 kg meter to the power minus 1, second to the power minus 2. And if you write in this way, kg meter to the power minus 1, second to the power minus 2 in terms of kg meter per second square multiplied by meter to the power minus 2, this quantity, this term kg meter per second square, this term stands for Newton, Newton per meter square, that is equal to Pascal. Newton per meter square is the SI unit of pressure. Newton per meter square is the SI unit of pressure. That's why it is also Pascal. In terms of Pascal, it is Pascal. 1 Newton per meter square, this is equal to 1 Pascal. So you come to know what is 1 atmospheric pressure. So 1 atmospheric pressure equals to 103,527 Pascal. Now see, we are having another unit bar. 1 bar equals to 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Remember it, 1 bar equals to 10 to the power 5 Pascal. And 1 atm, this is equal to 1 atm, this is equal to 103,527 Pascal. Therefore, you can have a relation 1 atm equals to 1, divide this by this, so it will be 1.03527 bar. This is the relation. ATM and bar relation, 1 ATM equals to 1.03527 bar, and 1 ATM equals to 103,527 Pascal, and 1 bar equals to 10 to the power 5 Pascal. So if you divide this by this, you will get the relation between ATM and bar. Okay. Now it is regarding pressure. So if you tell about pressure, there are different units: bar, torr, centimeter of mercury, millimeter of mercury, Pascal, ATM. These are the units of pressure. Now see the units of volume. Generally, we write these units. Volume, the units of volume: centimeter cube, meter cube, decimeter cube, liter, milliliter, etc. We use these units for volume: centimeter cube, meter cube, decimeter cube, liter, milliliter, etc. These are the units generally used to measure the gases, volume of the gases. You know that 1 meter cube equals to 1000 liter, 1000 liter, 1 liter equals to 1000 milliliter, 1000 milliliter, okay. So 1 meter cube can be written as 10 decimeter into 10 decimeter into 10 decimeter. This is equal to 1000 decimeter cube. So 1 meter cube equals to 1000 decimeter cube, and 1 meter cube equals to 1000 liter. Therefore, you can write that 1 liter equals to 1 dm cube. 1 liter equals to 1 dm cube. These are the units of volume. Milliliter, you know milliliter, you know centimeter cube, and remember that 1 centimeter cube and 1 milliliter, they are exactly same. 1 centimeter cube equals to 1 milliliter. These are exactly same, because you know that 1 liter equals to 1000 centimeter cube, 1 liter equals to 1000 milliliter. 1 liter equals to 1000 centimeter cube, 1 liter equals to 1000 milliliter. Therefore, 1 centimeter cube equals to 1 milliliter. These are the different units of volume. Now you see temperature. Temperature is generally measured in centigrade, degree centigrade, and Kelvin. Kelvin scale. Kelvin temperature is the SI unit of temperature. Kelvin temperature. Temperature in Kelvin scale is the SI unit of temperature. So centigrade temperature, Kelvin temperature equals to centigrade temperature plus 273.15. This is the exact relation. Kelvin temperature equals to centigrade temperature plus 273.15. Okay. So this is 273.15. Generally we take 273, but the exact value is 273.15. Remember it. You can convert centigrade to Kelvin. For example, 5 degree centigrade temperature. In Kelvin scale, it will be 278.15 Kelvin. So 5 degree centigrade equals to 278.15 Kelvin. Kelvin temperature is denoted by K. Degree is not given there. So these are pressure, volume, temperature. How to convert one unit to another unit. And mole, you know, amount of gas denoted by mole. Now we have a discussion about the laws related to gaseous state. The most important laws are there: Avogadro's law, Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law, Dalton's law, Graham's law. These are the different laws related to the gaseous state. Now see, if you see the laws, I can just write in this way: Avogadro's law. This states volume directly proportional to volume of a gas is directly proportional to the number of molecules of gas, and denotes the number of molecules of gas present inside the gas at a given at constant temperature and pressure. Without the reference of temperature and pressure, volume of the gas can't be measured. So there must be a reference to temperature and pressure. So this is Avogadro's law, and you can state in this way also that equal volume of all gases contains equal number of molecules at a given temperature and pressure. Equal volume of all gases contains equal number of molecules at a given temperature and pressure. This can be stated in this way also, or you can state V is directly proportional to N is the number of gas molecules at constant temperature and pressure. Now as you know that mole is directly proportional to the number of molecules. 1 mole equals to Avogadro's number of molecules. So if the molecules increases, then mole will increase. If the number of molecules decreases, mole will also decrease. Therefore, Avogadro's law can be written in this way also: volume directly proportional to the number of moles number of moles of the gases at constant temperature and pressure. This can be stated in this way. Now see, this is Avogadro's law. Similarly, you have Boyle's law and Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law, Dalton's law, Graham's law of diffusion. These are the laws related to gaseous state, and that you will learn it here in chapter States of Matter. Now this is Boyle's law. What does it state? You see Boyle's law. Boyle's law mathematically can be written in this way. For a given amount of gas, this is an constant, for a given amount of gas at constant temperature, volume of the gas is inversely proportional to the pressure applied to it. Volume of the gas is inversely proportional to its pressure. This is Boyle's law. That means if you write in this way, V equals to K into 1 by P, that is equal to PV equals to constant. PV equals to constant for a given amount of gas at constant temperature. This statement is known as Boyle's law. For two conditions, suppose keeping the amount of gas and temperature constant, if you change the pressure from P to P1 and V to V1, and again from P to P2 and V to V2, then these will be equal. P1 V1 equals to P2 V2. Because the amount of gas is constant, temperature is constant, pressure is changed from P to P1, volume changed from V to V1, pressure is changed from P to P2, and volume is also changed from V to V2. Therefore, P1 V1 equals to P2 V2. This relation you will get, and from this relation you can solve some numerical problems. Let us see the graphical representation. If it is volume and if it is pressure for Boyle's law, how does the graph look like? The graph looks like this. So at this pressure, the volume of the gas is this one. At this pressure, the volume of the gas is this one. At this pressure, the volume of the gas is this one. So you see, as the pressure increases, volume of the gas decreases. At this pressure, the volume is this one. At this pressure, the volume is this one. At this pressure, the volume is this one. So volume, if you change the volume, if you change the pressure, volume will change by maintaining this relation such that P1 V1 equals to P2 V2. This is Boyle's law. Now, Charles' law, what does it state? Charles' law actually can be stated from the actual form. That original form of Charles' law is like this. Original form of Charles' law. It is the law between volume and temperature relationship. So this law gives us the relationship between volume and temperature for a given quantity of gas and P under constant pressure. These two parameters are kept constant. The volume of a gas increases or decreases by 1 by 273.15 times of its volume at 0 degree centigrade for every 1 degree rise or fall in temperature. Remember, this is the original statement. The volume of the gas increases or decreases by 1 by 273.15 times of its volume at 0 degree centigrade, V0, for every 1 degree centigrade rise in temperature or fall in temperature. See what it does. At 0 degree centigrade, the volume is V0. At 1 degree centigrade, the volume of the gas according to Charles' law will be V0 plus it will increase by this much, 1 by 273.15 times of V0. Okay, for 2 degree centigrade, the volume will increase again this much. So V0 plus 1 by this into V0 plus 1 by this into V0. That means 2 by times of V0 for every 1 degree centigrade rise. For 1 degree centigrade fall, if you decrease the temperature, the volume will decrease by the same quantity, that is V0 minus 1 by 273.15 times of V0. So look at this, at 0 degree centigrade volume is V0, at 1 degree centigrade this much volume will increase, and minus 1 degree centigrade this much volume will decrease. So if you apply this law, the volume of the gas at temperature T degree centigrade, it will be V0 plus T into V0 plus T by 273.15 into V0. So this will be the final statement that we can derive from Charles' law. Therefore, Vt equals to V0 plus T by 273.15 V0. If you want to find the volume of the gas at minus T degree centigrade, then it will be V0 minus T by 273.15 times of V0. So this is the original form of Charles' law. In our next video, we shall start from here, the original statement of Charles' law that we have derived here. From here we shall start in our next video. Till then you learn these things.